before starting with the first speaker of the day, that is our good old friend Andrea Pessino of Ready at Dawn Studios, we have a briefing about AIOMI activities of this year. Because it's been a busy and important year for us, so we want to share with you something we've been doing. First of all, and I think it's good to be said because I mean, we are here in the Lewis University, our new strategic partner. We want to remind you that we are going to start a new master in video and computer games here in Lewis. It's one, as you probably already know, is one of the most prestigious and respected private universities, not only in Italy but in Europe. And this master, it will be a particular master because it has three specific parts. One dedicated to development, one to production and publishing, and another one about game culture, so talking about all things related to the game culture, including events, conventions, and media and information. And we, as you can see on the website of the master, we are trying to get aboard all the teachers that are really, I mean, working in the field and doing the things that they are going to teach. So not just theory, but everything is done daily by the teachers of these masters. And another thing that we have done this year, and I think it's very important for the field in Italy, is our partnership with Lucca Comics and Games, the biggest event about games. We made with them a new award. It's the first official new award comics and games in over 15 years. It's called the Lucca AIOMI Awards, and it's a video game Oscar in Italy. It's not the first time someone says he's going to do a video game Oscar in Italy, but I think it's the first time that this is for real. It has been a great success. There was a big ceremony of giving the awards, and we decided to have just 3 categories because also in this case we didn't want to make the same award where every single publisher is happy because he can win something. We wanted to make a real award with just 3 important prizes. There are 3 winners and the other, I mean, next year maybe. So the 3 categories are the PC game, the console game, and because this is one of the most important missions of AIOMI, is the best game developed in Italy. For the first edition, the winners were, we like to tell it to remind, were for console game Red Dead Redemption by Rockstar San Diego, for PC game StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty by Blizzard Entertainment, and for Italian game WRC by Milestone. But before I proceed to the next topic, I would like to share with you a little speech from Emanuele Vietina, the Vice Director of Lucca Comics and Games, and specifically the man that is on charge of the game section of Lucca.
Hello to everybody, and thanks for inviting me to the Italian Video Games Developer Conference 2010. First of all, who I am. I am Emanuele Vietina, the Vice Director of Luca Comics and Games Show. We are here to introduce you to our new awards dedicated to video games, Luca AIOMI Awards. Who is Luca Comics and Games? Luca Comics and Games is the foremost Italian comics show, games show and fantasy imagery show with more than 150,000 attendees about. This path brought us at the beginning of the 2000 to create a whole show dedicated to comics, to games, to TV series, to illustration, to animation, a big show that is now what everybody knows. During our show, every year, we propose to our public an award. What is for Luca Comics and Games an award? For Luca Comics and Games, it's a sort of a year in review. So we used to invite the foremost critics, the foremost journalists, the foremost men and women of the sector, proposing them a big meeting talking about the new production. We have done the same for the comics, proposing to our public the Grand Guinigi. We did the same for the games, for the traditional games, proposing to our public the best of show. And a couple of years ago, we decided to create an award about video games. To be honest, the proposal was not arrived from us, but arrived from our dear friends of AIOMI, the Italian association dedicated to the multimedia opera, the video games. And we immediately understood that it was a very interesting proposal, because our show, after comics, after games, after illustration and TV series, beginning to include the foremost publisher of the video games, like Activision, like Blizzard, Electronic Arts, and Ubisoft, and many of others. So it was the moment of us to propose an award dedicated to video games, because an award for us is a suggestion to our visitors, to our public, the suggestion of Luca Comics and Games of what is the best in a year in review. And as we usually are a live show, a show between the people, we don't like to do a jury far from Luca, but we propose to the critics to come to Luca in a meeting of 2 days, facing each other, discussing each other, to create not just the opinion and the vote of one journalist, but to share an opinion, finding which is the best products of the year for Luca, for the audience of Luca, for the feelings of Luca, for the flavors of the foremost Italian consumer show dedicated to comics, games and video games. This is just a path that has just begun, so we are moving our very first step. A road, the trip that we have begun sharing it with our friends of AIOMI, but that in the future could include more operator, more industry manager, more critics, more journalists, because Luca is not just a show, but is a big playground where every player interested in comics, games, and now video games can come, bringing his experience, his idea to improve something that is a property of all the fans and not just of an organization. So Luca for all for Luca, and for our new award, the AIOMI Awards dedicated to the video games. Thanks for giving me your attention, and sorry for my poor English. I hope to have been clear and to have conveyed you our enthusiasm, not just my enthusiasm, but the enthusiasm of a whole organization and a whole town that wants to be the capital of video games and the capital of games, exactly as in this year Lucca has been the capital of comics, animation and illustration. Thanks and good job.
As Emanuele just said, we are starting this partnership. The award is just the beginning, because even this year we have organized some roundtables about video games in Lucca, and for next year we have some more surprises to come. The strategic partnership with Lucca is not the only one, because as I was saying yesterday, we are also working with the Cartoons on the Bay Festival, organized by RAI, the Italian Public Television, the first cross-media festival in Italy, one of the most important in Europe, with a lot of operators from TV, animation and games, and is organized by RAI, and the new artistic director in the last 3 years is Roberto Genovesi. That was one of the pioneers in recognizing video games as a cultural medium and form of art. So with Genovesi, Cartoons on the Bay is opening to games, and we are working with them and with Lucca to make a big team that can work together to achieve some goals that are good not only for us, not only for the single festival or conferences, but hopefully for the whole sector and field in Italy. And as you can see, this is the editorial committee where Andrea Materia is about animation and comics, and Max Giovagnoli, a cross-media producer, will be the one in charge of cross-media, and I'm part of the editorial committee for animation, for interactive animation. That is the way it is called, the video game inside this festival. So during next Cartoons on the Bay in April in Liguria, in Rapallo and Portofino, AIOMI will hold a national summit about interactive animation. So we will say more in the following months about it. And I think this is big news for everybody. We will have a very special guest, that is the legendary game designer Warren Spector, that is out these days with Epic Mickey. So we will have even more reasons to come to the Cartoons on the Bay, because Warren Spector will tell us everything about the making of Epic Mickey, and maybe he will share with us some thoughts and things about the next projects he has in mind. And then let me just say one word about the Vigamus project. That is probably the most ambitious project that we have. We announced it during last year IVDC in Milan, and luckily is getting close to become reality. And I don't want to say anything more about it, because in a few hours, our international consultant and advisor, Mr. Jason Della Rocca, will share more information with you about it. And then to talk about our very last things, that is IVDC 2011, where I would like to have here on stage with me Chris Wendt, our PR manager, and the guy from Character Communication that this year really, improved our image and make IVDC a better conference. So Chris, please come here.